players in the past have come to Anfield and gotten booed before. Cristiano Ronaldo, Wayne Rooney. Someone actually threw a mobile phone at Rooney one year, which I thought was hilarious at the time. But it's one of them ones where a lot of people are construing the booing as racism, when no, it actually really wasn't. I mean, you look at the rivalry between the two clubs. Football is mad tribal, and football is, to an extent, in its own little bubble. To me, football is the weirdest anomaly in the world. I'm not justifying the booing of Patrice Evra. I wasn't doing it. My little brother wasn't doing it, and we're Liverpool supporters. But it's one of them ones. Some want to carry on the gripe and have an axe to grind, and want to continue the hatred towards Man United and towards individual players. Mate, with me, it's a case of I hate Man United because of the amount of ignorant, annoying supporters that I met of theirs during the 90s, who were glory hunters and jumping on bandwagons. So at the end of the day, obviously I don't live up there, so the rivalry isn't obviously that strong to that level. But apparently Merseyside police did say that most fans actually conducted themselves in a very admirable manner. But obviously, as I've said before, every club has a moronic minority. So it's one of them ones. But it was kind of a weird weekend with two games having the grim spectre of racist allegations against them. You had the Chelsea game with that as well, where we were reading a report yesterday that even kids were joining in and being encouraged to join in the booing of John Terry, just to upset him, not for any real reason, just to upset him. And it's like, all right. But the handshakes, which was kind of a weird thing, were kind of foregone, which was actually slightly strange. But hey, it was one of them. Was apparently the whole QPR team were set to snub it. But guys, what do you reckon of Evra being booed, and also the foregoing of handshakes in the QPR Chelsea game? Because I found that to be quite strange. Yeah, guys, what do you reckon?
I'm gonna wax lyrical about both of these. I am, and the first thing I'm gonna say about it is I have two views on Patrice Evra getting booed. Mm-hmm. Right. First one comes courtesy of a conversation with my missus. Mm-hmm. Because I was explaining to her my view, which was, why in the blue hell are these people booing Patrice Evra? Alright, I can get that, the clubs have a rivalry, so on and so forth. Yeah. In that case, I would say boo all of Man United. Boo the whole team. Yeah. I'd have no qualms with that. Alright? But this is the point where the booing Patrice Evra gets strange to me and confuses me, is because when you look at the incident, Patrice Evra has been proven to be a vindicated man. Luis Suarez was found guilty. Yeah? Patrice Evra, as Roy Keane pointed out on several occasions, he's done nothing wrong. Yeah. So what's the booing about? What is it about? Yeah. Alright? But Mrs. did go and point out, she said, well, you have to think about the types of people that go to these games. And one of those types of people is that guy that made the monkey gesture. Mm-hmm. And the way that they look at certain things. And basically, the way that they're looking at it is the whole reason why Luis Suarez was in the stands and being shown on TV far too often, in my opinion, was because Patrice Evra decided to stand up for himself and say, actually, this guy racially abused me, and I'm going to do something about it.
But at the end of the day, one thing I will say is this: football is extremely tribal. I mean, we know it, we've seen it. It is a very, very tribal game. I mean, yeah, football can unite, but at the same time, it can divide. Bloody team loyalties, and especially as your missus interestingly pointed out. I mean, looking at it, there are a lot of people who use football as escapism. I mean, you look at the hooligan fringe back in the 80s. Some of them couldn't wait for the football at the weekend because it was an excuse to have a punch up. And it's like, wait, hold on a minute. What, you ain't going to see the football? Nah. I feel like a stooge. I feel like a stooge having to work for some prat in a blazer all week. So I'm gonna go take out my frustrations by kicking someone's head in. Now it's one of them. Some people vent their frustrations by going and booing whoever for whatever reason. And like I said, Rooney's had a mobile phone thrown at him before. Ironically enough, at Anfield after he'd scored. But it's one of them ones. I mean, what I will say is any fan of any club who says their club wouldn't do it is a moron and is clearly delusional. Because any other fans in that situation, as said, football is tribal. Any other fans in that situation would have done the same thing. I mean, it was even worse. With the Chelsea thing. But that was absolute madness. Anton Ferdinand receiving a bullet in the post. That, to me, that shocked me. That was legitimately like, mate, what's this, 1983 again? But if Viv Anderson was dead, he would have been turning in his grave, because he had the same thing happen to him when he was called up for England as England's first black international. But it's one of them was the whole. It beggars belief. I mean, as said, every club has a moronic minority.
I'm just gonna jump in there because
Sure.
with the whole Anton Ferdinand and the bullet, that is disgusting. There's no excuses for that. But that's individuals. That's an individual, a sadistic individual. You know, that really and truthfully, that's just beyond football. That's just a sad individual with some, you know, he's not right in the head, to be honest.
No, of course.
The same thing happened with Neil Lennon with the bomb in the post.
Yeah, up during the old firm, yeah.
You know, so that's mad. But with the booing of the fans, the fans booing Evra, yeah, why I took a gripe with that, and to be honest, it's a moral stance, because at the end of the day, as Jazzy rightly pointed out, you know, Evra hasn't done anything wrong. Yeah. He stood up for himself.
Yep.
And he's gone about the right ways of doing it, in my eyes. He's brought attention to it.
Yep.
Yeah. And then he just kept stum about the whole incident alongside Manchester United. They haven't said anything. They've just let whatever powers be do what they have to do to sort it out. Mm-hmm. You know, it could have gone wrong for him. It could have gone horribly wrong. He could have been found guilty, but he wasn't. He was found what he has accused Suarez of was upheld, or you know. And at the end of the day, from a moral stance, booing him because it's a tribal. Sort of thing to do. To be honest, that's a load of rubbish. That's rubbish. You know, fans are booing him because they're upset with what happened with Suarez. That means, in all sides, they can't see what Suarez has done wrong, because you can't boo someone, yeah, because we lost our player. Yeah, that don't make sense. Your player done a bad thing. Just imagine if your player deliberately, like Van Persie, Arsenal Van Persie, just say he broke someone's leg, and we all saw him break someone's leg, yet we start booing the person whose leg got broken. Yeah. That's sick.
No,
that's not right behaviour. At the end of the day, in my eyes.